Welcome to America Current Affairs. Right now, something huge is happening in Syria. A massive conflict is blowing up, pulling in other countries and threatening to tear the whole nation apart. But you will never guess how it all started. Today, we're going to break down how one tiny little crime lit the fuse on an entire country.
That's right. After years of just brutal war, just when it looked like some kind of fragile peace might finally be possible, Syria is exploding. Again. The fire is back, and it is raging. But okay, this isn't some simple fight, you know? It's not just two sides going at it. It's a total mess, a tangle of local groups, big armies, and just everyday people protesting in the streets. So the real question we've got to ask is, who is fighting who this time? And maybe more importantly, how did a nation that was right on the edge of peace suddenly just catch fire?
So where do we even begin with something this massive? You'd think a war that pulls in armies from other countries would have to start with something huge, right? Like a broken treaty or some major political crisis. But nope, you would be wrong. This entire firestorm, it started with something much smaller. A simple street robbery.
Okay, look at this. It's like the most shocking domino effect you can imagine. It all kicks off on July 11th with a robbery. That was the spark. But just watch how fast this thing spreads. Instead of, police reports and arrests, we get revenge kidnappings. Just 2 days later, people aren't fighting with fists anymore. They're using mortars. And by the time the main highway to the capital is totally blocked off, a local crime has spiraled into a full-blown regional crisis. And get this all happened in less than 48 hours. Unreal.
Right. So when a capital city's main supply line gets cut and there are mortars flying around, yeah, the world is going to take notice. This fight, it didn't stay local for long. It quickly pulled in the Syrian government and then boom, other nations jumped in, turning the small dispute into a massive international crisis.
And to really feel the desperation on the ground, you just have to hear this. The top spiritual leader for the entire Druze community, Sheikh Hikmet al-Hijri, he didn't call for peace, no. Instead, he sent this incredibly powerful message to the world. He said we can no longer live with a regime that knows nothing of governance except iron and fire. Wow, that's not just a complaint, is it? That is a cry for help. It's a direct appeal for someone to step in and protect his people.
And this is where things get really tense. You've got two powerful governments jumping into the fight with completely opposite goals. On one hand, the government in Damascus says it's just trying to restore law and order. But right next door, Israel announces its mission is to protect the Druze, and it issues a clear warning for Syrian forces to stay out of it. That's a direct challenge, a line in the sand.
And Israel's warning? Oh, it was not just talk. Look at how fast this escalated. On July 14th, they launched airstrikes on Syrian tanks in the area. That's a huge deal. But just 2 days later, 2 days, they bombed the Syrian military's main headquarters in the capital city of Damascus. That is not a warming anymore. That's a major attack. The whole situation had just devolved into this chaotic, unpredictable battleground.
But in the middle of all the politics and the airstrikes, we have to remember the absolutely heartbreaking human cost. Because when armies and militias start fighting, it is always the ordinary people who pay the highest price. The numbers here, they're just horrifying. In only the first 5 days of fighting, more than 516 people were killed. Just let that sink in. That's over 100 people losing their lives every single day. The speed of this violence is almost impossible to even wrap your head around.
And for the people who survived, so many of them lost everything. The UN reported that over 87,000 people were forced to run from their homes. To put that in perspective, that's like the entire population of a small city, all turned into refugees in just a few days.
And please remember, these aren't just statistics. They are families, they're people. Just listen to what one man who managed to escape told a reporter. He said, "We saw 6 bodies in one home. The town had been hit with weapons, including mortars." That right there is the devastating personal story behind every single one of those numbers.
But as awful as this one conflict is, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's like one fire breaking out in a country that's already soaked in gasoline. To really get what's happening in Syria, we have to zoom out, because it looks like the whole country is starting to break apart, all at the same time.
This really shows a country that's just coming apart at the seams. So down south, you've got the Druze and Bedouin conflict we've been talking about, but then look over to the west and you've got huge protests against the government. And then way out in the east, the US-backed forces, the SDF, are fighting with local tribes who say they're being oppressed. So you see, it's not one crisis, it's like a bunch of different explosions happening all at once. So where does all this go? After so much fighting, what does the future even look like for Syria? Honestly, everyone is scrambling to find an answer, but the path forward is a total mystery.
The reaction to the violence has just been a storm of chaos. You've got the Syrian president promising to protect people, but nobody seems to be listening. I mean, the Druze are already forming their own government. You've got international countries trying to broker peace, while at the same time they're all blaming each other for the mess. What this really shows is a total collapse of trust. At this point, it feels like everyone is just looking out for themselves.
And all of this, it brings us to the one giant, unavoidable question that hangs over everything. This isn't about one small fight in one small region anymore. With so many different groups, all with their own armies, their own goals, and their own powerful friends in other countries, can a nation that's this fractured, this broken, ever truly be put back together again?
That is a heavy question, and one without any easy answers. We're definitely going to be watching this story very closely. For more deep dives that break down the big events shaping our world, make sure you subscribe to America Current Affairs. Thanks for joining us.